financial literacy is as important as oxygen for breathing. During the next 1 hour or so, we will learn about what is financial literacy and its importance so that you can lead a secure and fulfilling life. And friends, we will try to make this session as
Good afternoon to all the participants, especially the participants who are being joining out of India, and I guess there are participants from the different nations. Before we start our session, let me give a brief introduction about our today's speaker. Mr. Vivek is a highly accomplished, result-driven senior finance and management professional having 19 years of progressive experience in the segment of business and finance. He's basically a chartered accountant by profession. He has a vast experience of working in the industries like telecom, healthcare, IT, logistics, e-commerce. He's been demonstrated ability to streamline business operation and managing business life cycle. His proposition of doing business is an art and finance is the color that makes it perfect and profitable. While businessmen are set to conquer the business world, we hand hold them in this interesting journey. He's been helping businesses to overcome the financial ailment and developing financial strategies to make businesses more viable and profitable in the longer term. He worked hand in hand with the owner CFOs to support them on all financial and compliance matter, which helps them in growing businesses more faster and devise robust processes and control. So this is the a basic description about our speaker. But sir, I'm very much curious that you have a great passion for poetry and cooking. So before we start a session, we should have 2-3 lines of poetry from you.
Okay. So actually, I have a passion for poetry. I write Hindi poetry basically. So most of the participants, I do not know whether they will be able to understand Hindi or not, but still, if you have requested, so I have to fulfill it. What should I say? Okay. Let me tell you the one poetry on the current situation which we are going on. Right, that is the this pandemic situation. This is a long poem, but I will tell only the one paragraph, just one paragraph. So this is तू चाहे जितना जोर लगा ले हम हिम्मत ना हारेंगे, ये राम कृष्ण की भूमि है हम सब कुछ इस पर वारेंगे, तेरी ताकत कुछ भी हो पर हमारी हिम्मत ज्यादा है, वापस चीन भेजेंगे तुझको ये हमारा खुद से वादा है, आज तू हावी है हम पर कल हमारी भी बारी होगी, अंत में जीत हमारी होगी.
Wow, sir, this is so nice and wonderful. So what exactly we are going to cover in this topic, sir?
Yeah, so basically, let me introduce this topic and this program which we are having. First of all, a very warm greetings for the day to all the participants. This is basically a financial literacy program named Finalite, run by our financiologist. So the basic fundamental of the program is, sorry, somebody is presenting. The basic fundamental of the program is to impart the basic financial literacy to the public at large. Financial literacy is a subject which is not taught in the schools generally in the mainstream, but yet it is a very, very important subject for everyone's life, because every action you take in life is somewhere or other is linked to your finances, your money. So we are going to cover today some basics about financial literacy. What is financial literacy? What is the importance of having those concepts in your daily life? And how can you lead a successful, fulfilling life if you follow certain principles of financial literacy? That's the basic concept behind it. So let me present now. Are you able to see the screen, Shivani?
No, sir. It's being visible now.
It's visible?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, as I told you, it's a financial literacy program. We'll learn about what is financial literacy and what is the importance of it. So when it comes to manage your personal finances, most of the people think that there is no need to learn anything about it. That's a general perception of the people related to their personal finance. But the truth is contrary to it. Knowing your money, knowing your finances, that is financial literacy, is as important as oxygen for breathing. During the next 1 hour or so, we will learn about what is financial literacy and its importance so that you can lead a secure and fulfilling life. And friends, we will try to make this session as interactive as we can. So please be participative whenever any question is asked. Please be truthful and candid while giving the answers so that you can know your current standing. For your information, we have devised this program, entire program of Final Light in 12 modules, which each module caters to the specific needs of the audiences. Today, we are going to cover module 1, that is basics of financial literacy. Basically, it covers its definition, its importance, and what you need to do to achieve that financial literacy. That's the basic cover. Okay, friends, so you all must have heard the story of a goose who laid golden eggs, right? Let us watch a small video on the same to kickstart the session.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Let me start from the beginning.
Hey, yeah.
Rerouting. Make U-turn. Right way.
So I think the video was self-explanatory, clearly defining the difference between financially literate and financially illiterate people. I hope you get the intentions behind it. Please type yes in the chat box if you got the message right from this video. Please let me know if you got the message right. So what is financial literacy? Can anybody tell in simple terms what is financial literacy as per you, as a very basic term? What do you understand when we say you need or need not have a financial literacy? Can anybody tell?
More understanding of liabilities and assets, the input and output of the money.
Sorry?
The inflow and outflow of the money, more understanding on liabilities and assets.
Okay, great. That's one of the aspects of it. So I asked, what is financial literacy? Okay, so let me tell you. To understand it, let us break the term into the two parts. One is financial. The term financial is very broad and used in many parlances, but here, since we are focusing on personal finance, the term constitutes basically the money which you earn and you expend, right? And literacy, of course, refers to the knowledge about your finances, about your money, its sources and utilization. That's the basic definition. So now, when a person is said to be financially literate, from the definition above, it is just knowing about his money, right? But there is more to it. It's not just about knowing the sources and utilization of money, but it's about knowing how to keep what you earn and then how to earn more from what you keep. I repeat, it's knowing about how to keep what you earn and then how to earn more from what you keep. So it's not just knowing about your money, but how do you save? How do you save from your earnings to make your future better and to take control of your financial goals? And then how to invest that saving for the generation of further income. Basically, that's the basic financial literacy. So a person may be earning well and enjoying his life, but if he's not following these two principles, he may be a wealthy person, but I'm sorry, he's not a financially literate person. You have to follow certain rules to be financially literate to take the maximum benefit of your money. Okay? So basically, the financial literacy means knowing your money, then controlling your money, then managing your money, and then build wealth over the time from the entire money management. That's the basic financial literacy. Some people, especially the millennials and generations Z, may say that why should we waste our today for the concerns of tomorrow? As there is a popular Hindi saying, ki, kal kisne dekha hai? Who has seen the tomorrow? People may say that, right? But exactly that's what the financially literate people are concerned about, ki, who has seen the tomorrow? And there cannot be a better example than 2020 and 2021 of this saying. Have you ever thought of the terrible crisis the entire world is going on for last more than 1 year? Nobody has seen this tomorrow also, no? And these are the times when the financial literacy and basic financial concepts play a very good role in managing your life. So why is it so important? Why do we say that financial literacy is important? While you are earning and expending, it's fine. Why do you need financial literacy? So let me tell you a story to explain this. The story is about two friends, say Mr. A and Mr. B. Both got equal type of education, equal type of earnings and responsibilities. A was little careless about his finances and he always believed in spending whatever he earned today, as he believed in who has seen the tomorrow. He also believed in taking debts for everything as he was able to pay the EMIs from his salary. To the contrary, B was little cautious about his finances and he always planned for his future through proper financial planning and savings. Both were enjoying their lives in their own ways, and suddenly, gosh, 2020 came, and like millions of other people, they both lost their jobs. It happened with most of the people. Now what? Though it is difficult for both of them to manage the situation, but who is in a better position? The answer is obvious. While A's immediate concerns were to arrange living for his family and pay EMIs, B was in a better position. He was somehow secured and he could put his efforts and time in finding the alternative ways. Therefore, without being financially literate, your long-term financial success becomes extremely improbable and the likelihood of your financial struggle increases. Think what happened with A. The two most mismanaged things in life are, can anybody tell what are the most mismanagement things in life? Type in the chat box. What do you think? So most mismanagement things in life are time and money. Both are precious, both are scarce resources, and both are complementary to each other. If you know the money management well, then the chances of your success in the long run becomes, very much probable. So the concept is not to be a miser or not to enjoy your life, but it is all about planning and managing your money within your means. And it's a pre-planning, it's a totally, plan in the form of a budget and everything, so that you may know what do you have, what can you spend, and how can you secure your future. If you can afford to buy a Lamborghini without denting your finances, go for it. It's good. But even buying a Honda City by denting your finances, if your means allow only a Maruti 800, it's not judicious, friends. And that's what financially literate people avoid. So if I ask you guys, from the story which I told you, whose qualities do you depict? Just think your behavior and let me know whose qualities do you depict. Is it A? Is it B? Or maybe inconsistent? Just type in the chat box, just let me know. What do you think? You have a qualities of A, qualities of B, or maybe inconsistent? Okay. Okay, some are saying A, some are saying B, some are saying inconsistent. So you know now the importance. From the story itself, you know when the tough time comes, what is the importance of planning your finances in advance, right? Okay. Now tell me, why do we need financial literacy? What are the things you think financial literacy required for? Can you tell me some of the things for which you think financial literacy will be important for you? Anything which comes in mind, which you think that you will be able to apply financial literacy concept to those life aspects? So financial literacy is required for every aspect of your life, which we call life's financial goals. It may be education, it may be buying your dream house, it may be marriage of your children or yourself, or planning the vacation, lifestyle, anything you can think of requires application of the financial concept. So these are the financial goals. These things which are seen on the screen are the financial goals, which we call life's financial goals. And every individual needs to define these financial goals along with the timeline and work towards achievement of those goals right from the day you start earning, or maybe even before that. Earliest the best. We will learn about how to define these life goals and how to manage them in some other module in future session. But these are the basic goals which you need to define and manage. Now a bigger question: who needs financial literacy? What do you think? Who needs financial literacy? Is it a particular segment of the society? Is it only the rich people? Is it only the poor people? Who needs financial literacy? Okay, let me ask. Do you think this guy needs financial literacy? Do you think that the richest man of India needs to be financially literate? Of course, yes. He needs it, and without the financial equipment, he would not have been at this stage probably. And do you know, he also has a budget for his personal expenses. It may run into millions of dollars, but he has it. Now, what about this lady? Of course, yes. She needs it even more because she has limited means for her survival. So she needs to manage with limited means. Now, between these two extreme personalities, everyone, yes, friends, everyone whom you can think of needs to be financially literate. Be it a farmer, a student, a retired person, a businessman, a professional, a housewife, anyone whom you can think of needs to have financial literacy, and our efforts at Financialogist is to impart that knowledge to the public for their better financial life. Moving forward, let us understand some of the habits which financially literate people depict. The person who is said to be a financially literate is having some traits. First of all, they take control of their cash flows. It means they know from where and how much money they are going to receive and when, with surety. Then they decide their needs and define a budget which fits within that cash flow, which fits within their means. So that's a balancing between earning and your expenditure. That's we call budgeting. We'll learn about this in the later slide. After developing the budget, they constantly grow their knowledge by learning about finance and take full control, full advantage of it. Last but not the least, consistent savings is the part of their daily routine. In fact, savings are provided for in their budget even before providing for any other expense. And the friends, please mind the emphasis on the word consistent. It's not only saving, it's consistent saving which you need to have. It means you have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, you have to be regular in your savings, irrespective of your earnings, and over the time you can surely build your wealth. So if I ask you, out of these 4 qualities, can you tell me how many qualities do you generally have at present? 4, 3, 2, 1, or maybe 0? Do you have all these 4 qualities or any other number? Can you please let me know? Great. Okay, some people are having 2, some are having 3. So there is a variety of mix of people. But I will suggest, I will advise you after the session, just give it a thought, think about these habits, and try to impart in their daily life. It's not difficult, friends. It just requires a commitment from your side, and I'm sure you can develop these habits very quickly, very, very quickly. Moving forward, what are the benefits you get out of financial literacy? So my friends, financial resources, that is money, is the biggest cause of concerns while taking any important decision of your life. Agree? Whether it is your education, it is marriage of yourself, your children, it is planning for a vacation, it is any social obligation, it is any emergency, whatever it is, money consideration is the biggest thing which you think first before taking any decision, right? But if you are having a idea about financial concepts and money management, you can take those decisions better and without any mental stress. So there are multifold benefits of the financial literacy, but to me, the biggest benefit is the peace of mind. When you plan your finances in a better way, it gives you a sense of peace. Do you know that one of the major reasons of suicide all over the world is the financial stress? And that's all because of lack of financial knowledge and guidance. And maybe because of people do not practice that genuinely. So if you are having a proper financial planning in place, and if you know that your future is somehow secure, it cannot never be 100% secure because life is always unpredictable. But if you know that you have some kind of security, it gives you a peace of mind, and you can lead a free life, right? Now moving ahead, let us understand what are the components of financial literacy. What are the things which, together constitutes the overall financial literacy. Earning an income is, of course, the starting point. You are having an income and you're managing that money. Then the budgeting. Budgeting, it may seem a very common name, but it is a very, very important thing, friends. It includes, managing your earnings as well as your expenses so that you can balance that. You know that how much income you are earning, right? Now you have different needs. Some may be basic needs, some may be your necessities, some may be your just wants, and right? Some may be discretionary expenses. So you have to prioritize those expenses to fit in within your means so that there is no financial stress on you. Then savings and investments, we learned about, you remember how to keep what you earn, that is savings, and how to earn more from what you keep, that is investment. Then managing your taxes. Taxes may make a big difference in your earnings if you do not manage it well. Because if you are having, for example, if you are having a income which is tax-free versus if you are having an income which is having a tax, there can be a difference of 10 to 20% on that income. Then the debt. Debt is the biggest trap, my friends. Do not fall prey to it. Debt may lead you in very big trouble financially and mentally. As a rule, the only thing I think, as per my understanding, the only asset for which you should borrow is your house, because that is a non-depreciable asset. For all other things which can be managed without debt, you should never go for debt. Net worth is what you own vis-a-vis what you owe to other people. And then the risk mitigation. Risk mitigation is that there can be a various risks in your life. If I give you an example, that there can be two types of risk mitigation. One is the which we call insurance, which gives you a security about your in the eventuality of any mishappening. And then the risk mitigation about your savings and investments. How do you mitigate those risks, those capital risks? So basically, friends, these all aspects are a subject in itself, and there is a proper modules for that. So we can learn about in details about that in those modules in future. But I have given you the basic idea about these components. What are these components? And if you give each one of these in your space in your life, you will be, better managing your money. So by now you have a fair idea about what is financial literacy, what is its importance, what is components. Now you must be thinking, how do you get it? What are the ways to become a financially literate person? It's not a rocket science, friends, just a little practice, little discipline, basic knowledge, and you are through. Start budgeting, analyze your spending habits, learn more about financial concepts, define your financial goals technically, invest and save. And believe me, if you practice these habits, nobody can stop you from leading a life which you want. Initially, you may find it a little difficult to practice these, but once you start getting the results, you will be amazed. Practice these steps and improve your life. Again, remember, the idea is all about being disciplined and planning. Being disciplined and planning about your money and not to deprive yourself of the necessities of the life. So it's not like that you are just cutting your basic expenses or necessities to save. No, you have to plan your money in such a way that you can meet your today's requirements while saving for tomorrow. And believe me, whatever is your income, you can achieve that. You can start saving from as low as 100 rupees a month. Now we are talking about money for last 20-30 minutes. What is that money? What do you understand by money? I mean, going by the definition, money is a medium of exchange which allows people to obtain what they need to live. What they need to live. So that's a simple theoretical definition. Now think it from the perspective that for example, a typical lifespan of a person is say 70 years, right? General average lifespan of a person is 70 years. Out of these 70 years, how many years of your life to get money? I mean, how many of your life you are earning? Say around 35 years or so. So 50% of your life you are not earning, but you have a requirement of expenses to live, right? So that 50% of your life is first supported by your family during a pre-earning stage, and then by your savings during your retirement stage. We will learn about these life stages and the financial life stages in subsequent slides. But before that, let me ask you, do you think that money is a scarce resource? Do you think that money is a scarce resource, guys? Please let me know in the chat box. Is money a scarce resource, or is it available in abundance as per you? Type yes or no. Is it a scarce resource? Yes, guys. Money is a scarce resource. Like any other natural resource, for example, water, money is not available in abundance. And that scarcity makes it more judicious to manage it with care. let us understand with an example of let me say that if you come to know that tomorrow there will be no water supply in your residential complex, what will you do? What will you do? Of course, you will store water today for tomorrow's requirements. That's right. The same principle goes for the money, my friends. There will be a tomorrow when you may not have any active income, but your expenses will not be reduced. What do you do for that tomorrow? Are you conserving resources today for that tomorrow? Ask yourself, introspect, and take necessary steps today. As I said, the earlier the better. That's a very good comment I'm getting. Technically, the scarcity of money makes it more valuable. Great. So friends, there is a money trap. What is money trap? There are many things which you fall in prey to if you do not follow certain guiding principles of financial literacy. Some things in this trap are because of no planning and no knowledge of financial concepts, and some things are due to our habits and lifestyle. For example, there may be a need to fulfill a social obligation in spite of less money. Though it may be a difficult situation to tackle in society, but my take on the same is remain away from the show-off if you cannot afford. Then there may be emergency situations, and if you had not planned for those situations, if you had not created an emergency fund, it may give a shock to you, your finances, your life, anything. Then the high interest or the easy debt. Availability of debt these days makes people more vulnerable to this trap. As I told earlier, please avoid it until it is a matter of life and death. I will give an example of credit cards here. People tend to use credit cards because it's easily available. If you are using credit cards as a medium of payment, as a medium of electronic payment, that's fine. But if you are using credit card as a availability of easy money and credit and using it for impulsive buyings, that's the biggest mistake you are doing. You will find many examples around you where the people are stuck in the credit card web, and you just miss one payment and you will feel the burn. So debt in any form is not advisable unless it is extremely necessary. It is having an impact on your life, and it is a question of life and death for you. And by your habit of no saving and unnecessary spending is the biggest trap people may fall into in the early stage of their life. This sort of spending may be because of social status, maybe because of lucrative marketing tactics, or maybe just because of your wants to achieve anything at any cost. It will give you a long-term impact on your overall financial health if you do not take action today. Understand the difference between your needs and your wants. I hope you understand the difference between your needs and your wants. You may fulfill your wants if your budget allows. That's why I said the budgeting is extremely important. You may come to know after budgeting that you are having a surplus money for fulfilling your wants. Do it. But first, fulfill your needs, save for your future, secure your tomorrow, and then take any other action. So let us take a pledge today that we will not fall into these traps ever. I pledge in the chat box if you think that you want to avoid these traps in future. I pledge. Who is taking the pledge today that they will not fall into these traps? And follow it by heart. Follow it by heart, guys, and you will feel the difference. Again, initially you may feel it difficult to practice. If you start anything new, of course, there are problems to adopt that. But once you get accustomed to it, you will start feeling the benefits. Now we were talking about the budget. This is just a sample. I want to just give you a flavor. There can be three situations where you are having a surplus income, you are surplus, you are having just a balanced budget, and you are having a deficit. So if you are falling into the red zone, that's the alert. That's an alert for you. After the session, I request you to please prepare your budgets if you do not do already. And while analyzing your expenses, please break it to the minute details to see what is necessary and what is discretionary, and how can you reallocate the same to move from the red zone to orange zone, and from orange zone to green zone. Again, I'm repeating that the concept is not to deprive yourself of the necessity of life or stopping yourself from enjoying your life. It's all about planning in a proper, technical, systematic way. That's the concept you need to keep in mind. Now come to the life cycle, which we were talking about, the life stages. So the first stage is when we are studying and we are in pre-earning stage, and when we are not earning, and probably our family, our parents, our guardians are supporting us during that time. Then comes the second stage when we start earning, that is typically around 25 to 60 years of age or so. And then comes our third stage where we get old and we get retirement. Now, if you see, to support this third stage, that is retirement stage, we need to plan during our second stage, right? And when we are into this second stage, we are supporting our children and family who are into first stage. So the entire smooth running of first and third stage is totally dependent on our second stage, which is around 50% of our life. If we are not planning our second stage properly, we are not applying the basic concepts of financial literacy and money management, we are not saving for our future, we are not saving for our children's first stage, then we may not lead a fulfilling, secure life, and we will always be, in a mental pressure, in a financial stress. And believe me, this does not depend on the level of your earning. You may say that it's for the richer people to plan. How can the lower income earning people do that? No, everybody can do that. The level of their budget may be different. As I said, Mr. Ambani may have his budget in millions of dollars, but I may have it in maybe a few thousand rupees. Somebody may have it in a few hundred rupees. That's fine. But still, you can plan your finances. You can start saving from as low as 100 rupees a month, and over the time, you will build the wealth. There are many ways of doing that. The only thing is required at your end is consistency and discipline, religiously. Now understand the financial life stages means when you start earning, what are the stages of that life? So the stage one is when you start a career and you start earning. At this stage, since you do not have money unless you have inherited it, so at this stage you are working for your living. Then as you move ahead in life, and if you follow the financial principles by heart, you will gradually move to stage two, where you are still working, but your savings and investment from past few years also starts contributing to your finances. That's the stage two, when you and your money both are at work. Stage three comes when you plan retirement. At that stage, only and only your money should be at work without you taking any load of work. And if you are not planning that stage in your earning career, it may become a little difficult for you. So what is the time frame for each stage? Is there any time frame when we say we will move from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3? Fortunately or unfortunately, that time frame is not defined in financial world. It all depends on you, how well and how early you start money management, and how do you apply concepts of financial literacy to your daily routine. You can move very fast from stage 1 to stage 2 and stage 2 to stage 3. So let me ask you a question. What is the typical retirement age you think you should have? What retirement age you're targeting when you think that you will be able to put your money at work? Anyone else? Okay, 65, 45, 60, 30s, great. 50, great. So we got a range from 30 to 65 years, right? You know that the millennials and the generation Z today is pegging their retirement age is as early as 40 to 45 years. We got an answer of 30 years here also, 45 years here also. That's great. I appreciate those people who think like that. So guys, and I'm not talking about Dhonis or Tendulkars of the world. I'm talking about common people like you and me. And it is achievable. Those people plan their educational and financial life in such a manner that they are able to put their money at work at such early stage. And this does not mean that they sit at home and relax. This means that they do not work for earning a living and they are free to follow their passion at this stage and without caring for their financial goals or without caring for their living. And believe me, if you start applying the money management concept, if you start managing your money well, if you start budgeting, if you start saving and investing from the day one of your start of your career, you will get that stage very fast. Again, if you have not done that, you are at middle career stage. It's never too late. Start today. Best time is today to start anything. If you're not applying these concepts, if you want to avail benefits of these concepts, be disciplined today. Start working today on your financial goals, on your financial discipline, and you will get the results. So with this, I think we are through with the basic concepts and the importance of financial literacy and money management. So the key takeaways, if I summarize for you, is we learned that financial literacy is an important part of life and discipline is the most important thing for any aspect of life, be it your financial life, be it your professional life, be it your personal life, whatever it is, you have to be disciplined. Fortunately or unfortunately, this financial literacy is not part of our education system, not only in India, but anywhere in the world. And our efforts at Financialogist is to impart that knowledge to the society at large so that everybody can lead a secure and fulfilling life, irrespective of their status, irrespective of their earnings, irrespective of their caste and religion. So now there's a quiz time. I'm putting a link in the chat box. You can save it and maybe after this session now or later, you can assess yourself. There are 10 questions and you will come to know what you have learned.
So there is one question: how can students
Yeah.
become smart financial planners?
Smart financial planners. Okay. So I would say that to become, to follow any profession, whether it is a financial planning or any other profession, medical, engineering, anyone, first of all, you have to have a passion for that. If you're not passionate about anything, then you cannot get the desired results from that profession. And if you're passionate enough about anything, so for example, you asked about financial planning, if you have passion about financial concepts, if you have passion about financial planning, then it's very easy to get into any profession. There are many courses available for every field. You can do those courses, and again, you have to be disciplined in that aspect also. First of all, apply those concepts, those fundamentals in your own life, learn from that, and then you can start your financial planning. That's not a rocket science. So let me take other questions. If anybody has any type of questions, I'll be happy to share.
So there is one question from Mr. Gurinder. Yes, sir, is SIP is the best way to save money?
Sorry?
Is SIP is the best way to save money?
Is it? What did you say?
SIP, SIP,
Okay,
SIP.
okay. Yeah, SIP is, I would not say what is best, what is worst. There are various ways to save the money, but yes, SIP is one of the most popular way because it, balances your risk and it gives you discipline. As I said, discipline is the most important part since you are putting the SIP on a monthly basis or whatever. So it gives you a kind of discipline and it mitigates your risk as you are investing on the various timelines. So SIP is one of the very good ways of investing, and for the beginners, I would suggest that this is the best way. But there are many other ways of investing also. You can contact us for further details. But yes, SIP is one of the very good ways. Let me share the link again. Any other questions you guys may have? I'll be happy to answer. Or if you
Sir, any reading material you gonna tell us to read us?
Any reading material? Okay, so you may find. I mean, it depends on what you want to learn. You may find various materials over the net, but there is not a specific material because it depends on at what stage you are, what are the things you want to learn. Because finance is a vast ocean, right? So you can contact me over the LinkedIn or over the mail, and you will give me your background and the interest, and I will suggest you.
Sir, there is one question. Do you think investing on stock market is a good idea to secure one's future?
Again, as I said, that there are various avenues to the investment, and there are various asset class. And the stock market, that's equity, is one of that asset class, right? Equity, stock market is a highly risky asset, but at the same time, when you take more risk, there are more rewards also. So again, it depends on at what stage you are, how much risk you can take, at what age you are, how much money you want to put, what the time frame you are looking at, what are the goals you are looking at. There are many factors to decide the investment avenue. Based on those factors, we can decide that what is the best as per your case. It may be stock market for someone, it may be debt for someone, it may be fixed deposit for someone. So there are different aspects based on the various factors of your case.
Sir, there is one question from Mr. Keshav Garg. Investment in stock market is generally said to take a long time to grow. How can one retire early in his 30s?
Okay, so again, as I said that the general retirement age that the people are taking today is 40 to 45, but even you can attain it early, but the only thing is that you have to be disciplined and start in your early stage of life. Yes, the stock market is a long-term asset. It gives, it takes time to give you results. But if you start from the beginning of a career, you will be having 10 to 15 days in hand, and it all depends on your background and your earnings. And you can, and again, it is not the one of the thing. Stock market is not one of the thing for investment. There are many other avenues where you can earn even more than stock market, right? Stock market is a very risky thing. And until unless there is a time frame of 10 to 15 years and more than that, you should not go for that. But if you plan and if you plan your finances, your budget, if you're planning the retirement as the age of 30, you have to plan from the beginning and investment in the various avenues and not only in the stock market.
So what are those various avenues? I wanted to know about them.
Okay. So we call these the asset class, and the allocation of your investment to these asset class depends on the various factors which I told you, like your age, your time frame, your goals, your risk-taking appetite, your earning level, the background, and so on. Equity, that is stock market, is one of the asset class. Debt market is one of the asset class. Mutual fund is part of equity only, but it is lesser risky. Your debt includes your maybe your fixed deposit, your bonds investment, and gold is another asset class. Real estate is another asset class, and you should never be dependent on one asset class. And allocation should be systematic, depending on those factors which I told you. Based on those factors, there are certain technical things which you can allocate to various asset classes. For example, say 10% to gold, 20% to equity, 10% to debt. And overall, you can see that how much return, expected return by allocating those returns to various asset class you can get. And accordingly, you plan your investment and planning. And it is a continuous exercise. It's not like that you have decided your asset class at one point of time and just relax. No, you have to yearly or half yearly or maybe quarterly basis, you have to review your portfolio, review your asset classes as per your changing goals, as per your changing requirements, as per the changing economic environment, and reallocate those assets to get the maximum benefits.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Sir, which is the best platform to invest in stocks?
Platforms, it doesn't matter which platform you are working on, it depends on which you are comfortable at. Every bank and every NBFCs, there are many platforms which are in place. So it all depends on your personal preference. You can use any bank's platform, you can use any platform which is any app which is there. There is no specific thing that which is best, which is worst. Everybody is doing the same thing. Market is one. Everybody is linked to that. If you are comfortable with ICICI Bank, go for that. If you're comfortable with HDFC Bank, go for that. I mean, there is no rule for that.
Sir, can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, what is the nowadays cryptocurrency is the best way to earn money, sir? Is that why they want to invest money in cryptocurrency?
In cryptocurrency yesterday, you know.
Yes, sir. But again, it's going to rise, sir. Suppose if someone invests a Bitcoin 33 lakhs now, it will go into 40 lakhs in coming days. So if that will rise in the case, that will earn some money. That is some having the good financial fund. So is it wise? So if suppose anyone invested 5,000-10,000 or 1 lakh rupees in cryptocurrency in Bitcoin, as per now the price is 33 lakhs. But if the price goes around 48 plus cross, then it will not going to benefit.
See, these are the things, which we can take, I think, offline. You can contact me over the mail, because this is not the right platform to discuss these things. But
I have sent you the request in LinkedIn, sir. I have sent you the request in LinkedIn, sir. Dr. Saurabh Kumar. Can you please accept the connection?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Because there are no specific strategy or rule to deal with such situations, and it all depends on what are your mindset at the point of time.
Sir,
So I will surely tell you some strategies to contact me.
Can you drop me your mail ID, sir, or how can I contact the mail ID?
Yeah, sure. I'll just drop my mail ID here.
Yes, sir, please.
Sir, do you suggest investing into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin? I have heard in places like India.
No comments on that, Shivani. That is a sensitive subject.
Sir, investing will take more than 5 years, but trading you can earn immediately. Is it so?
It is not so, because as I said, with the higher reward, the higher risks also come. So trading is not like that everyone's baby. It also requires a lot of practice, a lot of discipline, a lot of learning before you start trading. And trading is not part of your investment strategy, guys. I must tell you that trading is part of your business, right? As the name suggests, it's a trading. Your financial strategy towards investment should never be mixed up with the trading. You should always keep trading separate from your investment portfolio. I put my email ID here, and I will also put my LinkedIn profile. You can get in touch with me.
Sir, I have dropped my email ID, sir. LinkedIn connection to you. Please.
Sure. I'll take that.
Okay, sir.
Sir, how to choose between old income tax and new income tax slab of India for working person earning in government department, annual income 15 lakhs, age 26 year in medical field? How to save income tax for this? What points to keep in mind?
Basic point, if your question is about choosing the old regime and the new regime, then you have to do your calculations first. If you are having any kind of deductions like ATC, ATD, and other deductions, then of course I think old regime will be beneficial for us. But if you are not claiming any deduction, then new regime will be beneficial for us. So there has to be some calculations. You can send me your details over the email. I will write.
So what are the best ways of investment for short-term investments?
For short-term investment, you should never go for the equity. As I told, it's a long-term investment. For short-term investment, you should always look for the debt, be it FD or the debt funds. Depends on the duration of that short-term. It may be 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, whatever is the duration. There are various products as per the duration of the product, duration of the investment. So, but it will be in that debt space only if it is a short-term.
Sir, your view on startup investment as an angel investor, especially how to get exit, and can you tell good platform through we can invest in startups?
Startup investment, again, it's a game of risk and reward, right? You may have seen that there are a lot of funding to startups these days, and this is a very, very risky asset. And of course, with the higher risk, the higher reward comes. If you want to be an angel investor, you have to join any of the startup CEOs forums. You may find many Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, and there you can get the leads. But again, my suggestion would be, before investing, study the business model, market, and the future strategy very carefully. The exit from the startup may not be easy, right? If it goes well, then you can exit through the secondary sale in the further investment rounds. But if it does not go well, then it may become difficult for you to exit. So if you want, it's a good idea that you are thinking about angel investment. That's a good avenue to earn the good returns. But your homework and due diligence on your investment is a must.
So what is the best investment for a student?
There is no best or no worst. As I said, it all depends on various factors. Which is best for me may not be best for you. Which is best for you may not be best for somebody else, because we all are having different kind of requirements, different kind of incomes, different kind of time horizon, different kind of risk appetite. So there are many factors which goes into the investment planning and investment decision. So that we cannot say that X is best for all. One size doesn't fit all.
Is saving money into banks and not investing the best way to save money?
Sorry, keeping the money into bank.
Is saving money into banks and not investing the best way to save money?
So if I understand that, you are saying that you keep the money in bank and do not invest it, right?
Right. Even
So
I think so, sir.
No, so that's again not a trait of financially literate people, because I said to earn more from what you keep, right? If you are keeping your money in bank, you have saved. You have done the first step, saving, but you are not doing the second step on investing. You may earn 3-4% hardly, and you will not beat the inflation. Inflation is more than 7% these days. So if you are saving into bank and not investing it, then you have done only the half work. It may be a security, right? You may say that that is secure, but guys, investment always comes with the risk. And if you remember that one of the component of financial literacy was risk mitigation. So there we learn how to mitigate those risks. But keeping the money idle is not a trait of financial literacy.
Sir, which are trusted mutual funds in India which are providing good services?
Mutual funds are good, and I think all the mutual funds which are providing services good. It depends on the timings and the markets at which you are entering to. Do your research. There may be a time when there is not a good time to enter, and monitor your returns. Once you have invested, then monitor it, because what is good today may not be good tomorrow, right? So it has to be continuously monitoring and management of those things. If I'm invested, say, in X mutual fund today, I will not take any names. So if it invested in X mutual fund today, it is doing good. it will do good maybe for next 2, 3, 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. But after that, it may go down. So until unless you are doing that continuous monitoring, it's a continuous thing, and we cannot say that if it is a good, it will remain good for the long term. Forever. Any more questions?
That's it, sir.
Okay.
Dear participants, do you have any other question? You can unmute yourself and can ask directly.
Okay, so I have given you my mail ID and my LinkedIn profile. If you have any other queries, any other questions, feel free to contact me over the LinkedIn or the mail, and I'll be happy to assist you. With this, I take a pause and thank you so much to all the participants for bearing me for last more than an hour. And thank you, Shivani and AdRox, for giving me this opportunity to address the people. I hope I was able to give you good insights.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And we'll surely connect you again in future for the next module.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thanks. Shall I log off now?
Yeah, you can, sir.
Thank you. Thanks all.
As participant, you can subscribe us on our YouTube channel to get the recorded session. Thank you.